Hello, good evening, and welcome to this taste challenge. We have two 40% alcohol Caribbean rums, and they're ready to do battle here tonight. Now, the first one is really famous all around the world. This is famous here, there, and everywhere. It is called Cruzan Aged Rum. It's a white rum. I mean, you can see it's clear, but it's a little bit kind of yellowish. And the reason being is that it is aged 1 to 4 years. And I'll explain that in a minute. It doesn't mean what it kind of sounds like. So it's got this nice embossed bottle with the Cruzan on one side, on the other. Fancy looking bottle, I guess, but you know what? It's not a fancy price. I paid $9.99 for this regular bottle, $9.99. True story. And yes, it has been in production since 1760. There's the emblem there. It'll focus. There we go. Established 1760. Tommy Carroll says, cheers, Louisiana Liquor Reviews. Hoping you're having a great day. I am. Got my oil changed, my tires rotated. Butch Willie says, that's a great deal for Cruzan. Yeah, $9.99. And it's on the island of St. Croix. And the people that live on the island are called Croisians. So get it? Cruzan. Cruzan. It's the people that live on the island. Cruzan. That's the rum. So it's been run by the same family since the early 1800s. So they're not the original people that ran it, okay? It's not the original people. They've only been running it since like 1810, okay? So for the first 50 years, it was somebody else, 1810. And it says right here, Gary Nelthrop. Master distiller, Gary Nelthrop. So you can take a tour of their distillery. A lot of people that go to St. Croix in the United States Virgin Islands tour the distillery, and they say it's a great tour and all of that, you know. And they give samples. Of course, you got to pay for the tour, you know, but and there we go. And they're in collaboration with Beam Suntory these days, you know, Jim Beam. It makes it a lot easier to distribute the product. But they make so many different rums. It's unreal. It is really unreal. And they make a lot of rums for other people. They do contract distilling, you see. Aluminum cap. So until 1917, it was the Danish Virgin Islands. It was owned by Denmark. It used to be the Danish Virgin Islands. The United States bought the Virgin Islands from Denmark for $17 million. They have 3 main islands: St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, right? Okay, and then the British have their own set of islands called the British Virgin Islands. They're right next to each other. They're like this, just like one side U.S., one side British. And there's a ferry that connects the two. You can take a ferry. And I'd like to go down there and take the ferry. Of course, if I go to the U.S., I'd like to go to the British side, Tortola and all those. They have distilleries there on the British side and make their own brand. So I think it would be fun. All right, Butch Willie says, I'd certainly rather buy islands rather than invading them. Yeah, it's better to buy it than invade it. Okay, so that's it. You know, one of the world famous rums, right? Like the top 5, right? What are the top 5? You know what number 1 is? Bacardi. Everybody knows that. Captain Morgan. Common sense. Cruzan's up there. Now we're going up against one that's not in the top 50. It's not in the top 100. It's probably not in the top 500, but it's around, and I bought it, and it's called Boquerón. Boquerón silver rum, and it's got a real rope tied around the bottleneck. Real rope. And there's tucked in. They tuck it to where it'll stay tight. Wooden cap, neoprene stopper, bottled in Texas by Iron Horse Ranch and Farm. Now, who makes this for Iron Horse? Man, we don't know, and we're never going to know. It's from Puerto Rico, maybe, because it's named after Boquerón Bay in Puerto Rico. And got no age statement. I got this bottle for $7.99. I'm not really even kidding. Okay, and I bought it. I mean, I said I don't know anything about. When I saw it on the shelf for $7.99, I said I know nothing about it. It might be the worst rum in history. I don't care. For that price, I'll take the risk, because at that price there is no risk, actually. Okay. So yeah, and then it tastes really good. Okay, so now try to collect my thoughts. So Cruzan, like I said, one of the big players. When they say it's aged 1 to 4 years, that doesn't mean that sometimes it's 1 year and sometimes it's 3 years and sometimes it's 4, and they just like throwing the dice and grabbing stuff. No. What they mean is that it's a blend of rums aged 1 to 4 years. Okay, you get it? It's like they have rums aged only 1 year, but they're blended with other rums aged 2, 3, 4 years. At the maximum 4 years, the minimum 1. So the youngest rum in the blend is 1 year old, which is pretty good, because some rums are not even aged 1 week. All right, some rums you can get are not even aged 1 week, if they're aged at all. They're just young. They distill it. It's silver. They filter it through the charcoal, bottle it, and there it is on the shelf. But so Cruzan, they blend different rums together. The youngest at 1 year old and the oldest at 4. Okay, so now we have that established. It's got a notch on the back, so if you put it on a, on a liquor cabinet, it won't swivel. It'll stay put. Got it laid, sideways. Can't lay it sideways; it'll all dribble out. So pour a little bit. One of the world classics. Oh, and I forgot about. Oh yeah, another one of the classics is, of course, Appleton Estate from 17. It was actually older, right? 1749, I think. Plantation out there. Wooden cap. Neoprene stopper, which is a type of rubber they use on shoe soles. Well, the glare is kind of bad, but it's kind of a beige thing. But it could be any color, whatever they color in the edge. All right, so pour some here. I almost had it even, but I didn't quite get it even, but it's close. Put that back. So $9.99 for Cruzan, $7.99 for Boquerón. Crazy, right? And when you see these prices, you be thinking like, that would be the worst rum ever. That would be like shoe polish or nail polish remover. That's trash. No one would drink that. Well, a lot of people drink Cruzan, so you're fooling yourself. But no, it's not like you're thinking. Well, I mean, I guess some of them are horrendous. I just haven't happened to run across, well, except for Ron Rio. That was a little different. I haven't really run across any bad rums, as they say. If you had to choose only one liquor to drink, what would it be? You mean if I had to buy only one type of liquor? Well, I guess that would be rum. No kidding. I like rum. It has a good sugary taste. I have a sweet tooth. I like donuts with the glazed donuts. I like well, you know what I'm saying. I like putting sugar in coffee, but only the first cup of coffee in the day. I put a little cane sugar, but then the rest I drink it without sugar. Let's see. Boquerón says made with the finest Caribbean rum. Oh, sure. The finest. That's why it's $7.99 a bottle. Uh-huh. Bright nose, smooth and clean finish. Uh-huh. Sure. Okay, whatever you say, boys. Cruzan Aged Light Rum. A blend of rums. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. A blend of rums aged 1 to 4 years. And oh, I didn't mention this. In ex-bourbon barrels and filtered for a full body taste. Well, I mean, most rum is filtered, so that doesn't really mean much. Light in color, this classic showcases the smooth flavor of that Cruzan is known for. It showcases the smooth flavor that Cruzan is known for. We're not going to go over all their rums because they have so many. It's like unreal. So, I mean, you could just go on and on and on and on, and it's like you get dizzy trying to look at all the products they make. So you can't do it. I do prefer rum over whiskey. Now, some people say you're out the club. You're canceled. We don't like you anymore. We thought you were a cool dude. Now you said you like rum more than whiskey. You're out the club. Now, okay, whatever. I don't want to be in your club if you have those kind of rules. Well, what kind of whiskey? Rye, straight bourbon, American blended whiskey, Canadian blended whiskey, Irish blended whiskey, single malt scotch, blended scotch. Yeah, I'd rather drink rum than any of those styles, but I like them. I like all those whiskeys. I really can't think of a whiskey style. Oh, the Japanese whiskeys like Hibiki Harmony and Suntory Tokai. Those are great, so I can't discount those. I just would rather drink rum, Brandy. Oh, that's very nice. I like brandy. Didn't say I loved it. I said I liked it. The rum, I just said that was my favorite. Tequila, I like tequila. I didn't know what I was going to think about tequila. I was reluctant to try it, but I ended up liking it. Mezcal, well, it's okay. I think I'd rather drink tequila, but mezcal's all right. Tequila is a type of mezcal, actually, if you want to get techno. Um, but yeah, they're all fine. Even gin. I've done a few gins and vodkas, but I wouldn't be running to buy any more of those. And I don't run to buy any of those, and I do not buy any of those. I definitely like rum, just not spiced. Oh yeah, now my only experience with spiced rum has been so grim. I mean, I did get some little sample bottles of like the whatever that one's called from Sazerac. It's black. It's kind of like the Kraken, but it ain't black. It's not the Kraken, but it's like a knockoff of it. Oh, that was really nice. And I had the Jonah, whatever it was called, Jonah something. That was really good. And I might have had one called like Moby Dick or Captain Ahab or whatever spice ring, those little sample bottles. Those are all good. Those are all good. No joke. They were really good. And but that thing I bought, that thing I got in the freezer, that atrocity there, the Caliber spice rum in the 750 milliliter. They ought to put that thing to sleep, like euthanasia. But I don't even believe in euthanasia, but it's convincing me to believe in it. Of course, we're not talking about a human being. We're talking about a bottle of rum. But now the handle of Caliber spice rum does not say the same thing. They're like two different products. Same label, nearly identical label design, but it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same, and so they're not the same. So, but Caliber burned me once. I'm not gonna get burned twice on it, even though the handle is pure rum. It's not an imitation rum, but I don't want it. I don't want it. I got enough silver and gold and dark rums to be. I don't need to be flirting around with spice rums. I definitely. Oh, Jean Pierre says, "Hey Jay, drinking Miller High Life while doing your review." You mean while watching my review? Yeah, because you're not doing the review. I'm actually doing the review. But I know what you meant. Have you ever tried Sailor Jerry? Oh yeah, that's another one. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I've had it. It's good, really good. Nice stuff. Definitely. Really subtle spices, like well made, super duper good. So like I said, I've had those, the ones I named, and I'm sure Captain Morgan's very nice. Can't complain against it. I never had it actually, so but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's very nice. It's not going to be the number one spice rum in the world because people hate it. Like some people said it, oh, it's all marketing. I said, it's all marketing. You think it became number one because people drank it and think, oh, it's making me gag. But those commercials, I just love them. You know, those advertisements really grab my attention. Yeah, like, yeah, sure. Okay, time to roll. Time to roll. Mm, smells like the Boquerón. And what I mean by that, it smells like the sugar icing on a cake frosting or icing like Duncan Hines. It's just something about that. It's like real rich sugar cream. I'm thinking that's Boquerón. Okay, but let's be fair. You know, this one might be the same. Oh, well, it's not. All right. This one smells like it's gonna be super dry, like no sweetness whatsoever. Like they should put a sign on the bottle. You like sweetness? Get lost. No sweetness here. Aged in ex-bourbon barrels. I got to put this on my notes. Aged 1 to 4 years in ex-bourbon barrels. Now, I just told you that they are in collaboration with Beam Suntory. So if Jim Beam handles the importation of Cruzan, whose ex-bourbon barrels do you think they're using? Well, I guess it wouldn't take a genius to figure that out. Now, is that a problem to me if they're using Jim Beam bourbon barrels to age the rum in? Wouldn't bother me at all. I'm sure it's very nice, but would any bourbon barrel work? Oh, yeah, probably ex-bourbon barrel. But since you're in collaboration with them, you're kind of like already trading stuff and sharing stuff. So you're probably going to use their stuff. Yeah, makes sense. There is no way that can be anything but the Boquerón. But we're going to try. We're going to give it a fair taste job. But I'm telling you, this one in my left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. I'm thinking that's the Boquerón. But here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Gotta be. It's got to be because it's that sugar cream, that rich sugar cream, which I like because I like sugary stuff. So did I get a great deal on this for $7.99? Are you kidding? The greatest deal in the world. Oh, I am delighted by this product. Now your argument could be, but it's not well known. You're not going to be cool drinking it. If you show up to a party with this, people are going to give you a side glance, look at you with a bad eye, and say, "What is that? Why you didn't bring Bacardi?" Yeah, I get that. That's like literally what they're going to say. And they're going to be like, "I bet he got it because it's cheap," which actually would be correct because it would have been the case. But you know what I'm saying? Like people are not open-minded. So like if you bring Bacardi to a get-together, Mardi Gras party, like I went there one time in New Orleans to watch a Mardi Gras parade. Oh yeah, Bacardi, woo, party time, you know, that kind of thing. Or they might say Appleton Estate. Oh yeah, my papa used to love drinking that. My papa used to drink, so on. But if you bring Boquerón, automatically people gonna start acting paranoid, like literally paranoid. Like, why are you bringing that? I went to that party one time, brought Michelob. Michelob. It cost me more than the Budweiser, which the people would have enjoyed. Like I could have brought Bud Light, and everybody would have been like, "Yeah, Bud Light, baby," and all that rigmarole. But I thought, you know what? Tonight is kind of special. I said, let me bring. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. So I said, let me bring Michelob, the original Michelob. People were not thrilled with that. And some of the guys tried it at the party and they were like, oh, yeah, Michelob. Yeah, that's that's interesting. And I could tell their face was like, oh, I hate it. It's not Bud Light. It has flavor. I don't drink beer with flavor. What are you doing to me? So it just like, it did not go over well. And maybe 2 or 3 people tried it. Of course, I was drinking it. And then the people at the party hosting the party, they were never going to drink it, never. I was like, you going to drink this? Well, we like Bud Light, which meant no. So I was like, I give up. I'm trying to introduce people to other beers, and they will not budge. Now, someone would make fun of you for drinking Bud Light right now, since April 1st, no fooling. But up until April 1st, 2023, they would have looked down on me. But it wasn't for the same reasons, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's like, hey, man, you're not supposed to drink Bud Light. We're the freedom people. We believe in freedom, and we're going to shut you down, get you fired, take away your ability to do anything if you drink Bud Light in the name of freedom, because that's what we're about. Dropping atom bombs on people. That type of mentality. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Glad you're into freedom. Okay, but I don't knuckle under to that. But I'm not a Bud Light person anyway, so I mean, the point is irrelevant. I never bought it to start with. But you know what I'm saying? You get the point. Some people do. Some people are like, you ever saw the Barbie movie? It's like, no, we're not really talking about that right now. Okay, so the Cruzan. Okay, so the Cruzan is more demure, if you want to use that term, demure, more refined, more subtle, subtle. See, like it's more obviously. It's obviously what they say it is. 1 to 4 year, a blend of rums aged 1 to 4 years, aged in ex-bourbon barrels. And yeah, you can see that. So it's got a lot more, complexity, more savoir-faire. The bourbon barrels really add to this. The aging in the bourbon barrels is something else. So it adds so much refinement to it. Yes, the neoconservative ideology, says Butch Willie. Yeah, right. I deal with these people all the time. And I don't get angry. I don't get angry. I leave it up to them. They're usually kind of angry, so I'll just be like saying, oh, that's interesting. Peace through war. That's a kind of an odd concept. So we're going to have peace, but we're going to do it through war. And when does that process end? Well, you never know. You got to do what's in the best interest of your country. So that could basically be an open-ended thing. Like it could more or less sort of like never end. Well, yeah, I mean, look at all of these bad people in the world. I'm like, yeah, but you weren't involved in that conflict. You sort of like inserted yourself into it. And then their comeback is like, if you don't like America, bro, you should leave. I'm like, whoever said I didn't like America? What are you talking about? Are you drunk or do you take medicine? So then it becomes all of that. So, which actually is probably true for both. There's probably the affirmative for both questions. They probably are and they do. But anyway, yeah, so you get, we don't want to get into it, but yeah, Butch, you're right. It's like, okay. Well, I think I like the Boquerón. It's simpler. I mean, yeah, it's not complex. It's just like sugar cream, but it's very nice sugar cream, and they do a good job with it. And it's got its own worthwhile characteristics. Certainly worthwhile. It's $7.99. I paid $7.99. It's a much higher grade product than that, and in fact, of course, the regular price is much higher than, well, a good deal higher than $7.99. Probably about twice as much. So I don't know why Rouse has had it for that price. I didn't ask. I didn't go up to the register and say, "Hey, is this price correct?" You know. So I'm very pleased with it. But on the other hand, Tommy Carroll says it's reported that the squad has switched to Russian vodka. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, sure. All right, Tommy, you comedian. In this case, you got to give it to the Cruzan. It's so much better. It's like Boquerón's here. It's like, man, this stuff's good. It's right here, right where I need to be. It's so nice. And then you bring in the Cruzan Aged Rum, and you're like, yeah, but this is here. It's like way nicer. So the aging in the ex-bourbon barrels, the 1 to 4 years. The company been doing it since 1760. They got the same family been making it since about 1810. Boquerón don't stand a chance. But I knew that before I started. I mean, I figured Boquerón doesn't stand a chance. Is it a fair challenge? It is fair because we only talk about a $2 difference. I mean, $2, like, yeah, that's a lot of money. No, it's not. You say, well, it's a lot of money in 1973. Yeah, that was 50 years ago. You could buy a brand new car for $2,900, like brand new with a year warranty, um, with rack and pinion steering and synchromesh 4-speed transmission. And well, not air conditioner, but why complain? Um, the beautiful vinyl seats, bench seats with an armrest. Okay, the dark Cruzan. Oh yeah, you talking about that blackstrap molasses one? The blackstrap? I got the best deal in the world on that. I don't even want to talk about that. That's like people will get angry at me. Hey, but it was a true story, and I went to Total Wine and More, and I was like, this cannot be right. So when I brought the bottle up to the register, I was like, I know it's gonna ring up to like $20, $29. I was like, it really rings up to this price. I'm like, I'm buying this like a robber, getting out of here fast. And then about a month later, the price went back to the regular. I was like, oh, okay, I got it. But nah, I mean, you can smell there's nothing left in the glass. Like, look, the glass is empty, right? But you can smell the bourbon barrels in the glass. Yeah, it would not be, yeah. Now this thing here, you can smell the sugar. Smell the sugar. So But when it comes down to it, you say, which one would you rather have right now? Which one would you rather have? My answer would be, I'd rather have both. I would rather have both. But obviously, if I had to make a choice, I would choose the Cruzan. It's just more refined. But no knock against Boquerón. And I would say this right now on the air. If you ever see Boquerón, well, of course, for $7.99, I don't know about $14, which is probably a fair price. Turn this lamps off. I don't need the lamp now. If you ever see Boquerón, I'd buy it. But if you ever see it for $7.99, you gotta buy it. You gotta buy it. You got no choice. You gotta buy it. Cruzan, is this a great deal that I got for $9.99? I should say so. And that wasn't even a sale price. That was just like the regular price. So I have gotten a lot of enjoyment of this product from this product. And I would say that even though I'm down to the last 25%, see 25, 50, so yeah, 25%. Well, it's a jewel. This is a jewel. And if somebody tells you Cruzan, that's garbage. Well, they're wrong. It's not garbage. It's far from it. Far from it. So yeah, so if you want to see what's coming up tomorrow morning at dawn, let me know. If not, I'll get off of this. We out of here. Cruzan is not trash at all. Oh no, it's not trash. Well, it's just people talking stupid, you know. But they jealous, you know, because they'll think in their mind, they think, well, it's inexpensive, so it's automatically bad. Yeah, but it's not bad. The company's been around since 1760. They just make a lot of it and they sell it cheap. Oh, it's not all cheap. They got Cruzan rum cost you $200-300 a bottle. That's not the regular ones, and I'm sure they're fantastic. Well, we would hope so. But you know, you could do that, but most people just say, no, I'll stick with the $9.99 bottle. But if you want to see, we're out of time. You know, we've gone over 30 minutes. But if you want to see what's coming up next for Dawn Busters, let me know now, or never mind, you'll see it tomorrow. But I've got some more exciting rums coming up. So we'll count it down to 0 and then we're out of here. So if you want to see what's coming up next, going once. If you want to see what's coming up next, going twice. If you want to see what's coming up next, going. Okay, well, that's it. So you'll see it tomorrow if you know, if you care to watch. Oh, Jean-Pierre says yes. About to get out of here and he's dragging me back in just like Michael Corleone. All right. Okay. Okay, now this is a classic. But it came out 100 years after Cruzan, like exactly 100 years after. This is Ron Rico. It literally has been on the market since 1860. That's not some made-up story. It's not fake. So this is Ron Rico. There it is. It's got a cabana on the label. You see the beach. You got the water. I love this label. You got the water in the background. You got the cabana with the little wooden plank trail. And if you look carefully at the cabana, there's people in the cabana drinking. And it's blue. You see the sky blue sky. And then the bottleneck is sky blue because of the sky. And then it's got this emblem here. All Ron Rico bottles carry this emblem. And this emblem is historic. And it's got something to do with the King of Spain. And I'll explain that tomorrow morning. That's not just stuck on there for no reason. But Ron Rico has, like I said, been on the market since 1860. And that's a real story. It's not, like I said, not made up. This is the silver. And, ironically, this was also $9.99. True story. I got this for $9.99. And I could have got the big handle for $12.99, but I said, well, I better just stick with the glass bottle. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't need a big bottle. Yeah, the bottle shape might remind you of something, you know, so you're going to figure out who's controlling this right now, just about now, or by tomorrow morning. But anyway, there it is. Now, 40 years ago, this was one of the top 5 selling rums in America. I don't know if it's even in the top 25 now, but by golly, a lot of liquor stores sell it. But back 45 years ago, this was a big deal. This was like a serious product. They used to have sweepstakes where you could win a new Trans Am. You could win a silver Trans Am if you drank the silver, or you could drink a gold. You could drink it. You could win a gold Trans Am if you drink the gold, and you could enter the sweepstakes. And Ron Rico gave the grand prize was a silver Trans Am or a gold, depending on which one you preferred to drink. But then things changed and some things happened, and now it's just like on the shelf. They don't have sweepstakes anymore. They don't have I don't think there's a Ron Rico website or anything, but it's there. It exists. Just goes to show you, you can be a big time product one day and not so big later. But this is one of the famous ones. So and I got it, and I know where to find the spiced. I know where to find the gold. Well, I got the gold. I know where to find the 151 proof. If there's higher grades, I don't know about those, but I got the silver labels. That's coming up tomorrow morning. Real famous product. Well, used to be famous, maybe not now. All right. What do I suggest mixing it with? I don't know anything about mixed drinks, so I cannot comment on that. I don't know anything about making cocktails. Sorry, Magnum. Jean-Pierre, I'm drinking Coors Light during this review. Is Miller better than Coors Light? Well, that would depend on who's drinking it, right? So you could ask 50 different people. You might get 25 different answers. Oh, before you close out, would you show us? Well, I don't know, Tommy. Let's see. Would you show us more products that you've going to review? Yes, I could do that. I enjoy both beers, but I lean toward Miller, says Jean-Pierre. Yeah, I lean toward Miller. All right, so if anybody wants to see, well, Tommy, we got to have somebody second that. We got to have somebody back that up. So if anybody else wants to see anything coming up, let me know. If not, we'll get off of this because most people be like, man, you've been on over 30 minutes. We're tired of watching it. I get that. So I could show you some things coming up. $10.99 for 12-pack of Miller High Life here. Yeah. William Grimes says 2. Okay, 2 comes after 1, goes before 3. Okay. Oh, the second. Okay. Sorry, I was tasting rum. All right, so yeah, you second it. Okay, here we go. Yes, I have to put the lamp off because it makes such glare. You can't see the product. If you don't mind. No, I don't mind. I enjoy watching you drink. Well, I do tasting. I don't really drink on air. I'm enjoying my beer, watching your review. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sean. All right. They're all talking to each other. All right. So as far as rum's coming up, a couple of days, maybe 2-3 days. You know, but I got Palo Viejo. Now I know what you're saying. What in the world is that? Ain't nobody ever heard of Palo Viejo. Well, I certainly never heard of it. I bought it in Baton Rouge about 4 years ago. Big bottle. That bottle design might look familiar, huh? But then some Puerto Rican people started chiming in, which I appreciated because I like it. It says bottled by Munson Shaw Company, Deerfield, Illinois. But it's produced by Barcelo Marcus and Company, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Barcelo Marcus. Palo Viejo White. There's a gold, there's a spice, there's 151 proof. There's the whole gamut, you know. They might make flavor ones. But this is the original Palo Viejo. Been on the market since 1906. True story, 1906. And I had some Puerto Ricans start commenting, and they said, "Oh man, are you kidding me?" They said, if you go around Puerto Rico, San Juan, Ponce, all these Puerto Rican towns, they got every town you go to, they got old men playing dominoes, and they sipping on Palo Viejo. Palo Viejo is definitely an old man rum, and it is very popular in Puerto Rico. They don't mean with like the young hip crowd, like the cool people drink. They like your grandpa drinks it. So they say that is so common in Puerto Rico. Don't even think it's not. I said, okay. So they just started commenting like crazy. They were like, oh yeah, that is like super well known. It's obscure in Louisiana or probably the whole United States. But I bought that in Baton Rouge at a place called The Beer Store. The Beer Store. No, I'm sorry. It's called The Liquor Store. Sorry, The Liquor Store on United States Highway 190. And they had this big bottle. This is a liter bottle for $6.99. $6.99. There was no way I was passing that up. If I see a bottle like this big for $6.99, I guarantee you I'm buying it. That will happen. There's no way I'm going to pass it. Now, as far as beer, I found this great beer. I don't know if it's great. I never had it. I assume it's great. It's called Guden Drac Imperial Stout. This is coming up soon. I can't wait too much longer. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. This thing is coming up. Man, look, this thing is 12% alcohol. I'm not joking with you. 12% alcohol. It's been on the market a few years. It's made by Duvel Moutgat, a really old company. Been around since, the old days of Europe. You know what I mean? But this Imperial Stout, 12% alcohol. You know how much I paid for this bottle at the salvage store? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mention that. I was told by my friend David said, don't mention that store. What I meant to say is, you know how much I paid for this at a store? $0.69. I got this bottle for 69 cents. True story, true story. Whoop, whoop. And the Best Buy date is like 2029 or something like that. It's like it's got a long way to go to be out of date. So that's what's coming up. I got some exciting things coming up. I got a mix-up coming up. I found the Pepsi with real sugar. Pepsi with real sugar. Not that high fructose corn syrup trash. Pepsi with real sugar. All right, so yeah, I didn't mind. I enjoyed watching you. Okay, $6.99 for that bottle. Damn, says Magnum. I know, I couldn't believe it. I saw it on the shelf for $6.99. I was like, I'm buying this today. Louisiana Liquor Review says, Tommy, I wonder what that tree symbolizes. Oh, don't you get it? The tree. It's Spanish. Palo Viejo. Old wood. That's what it literally means, old wood. Old wood. Get it? Old wood. And it's popular with old people, elderly people, old wood, like old guys. So it literally means old wood, but it really probably means like old guys getting together drinking this. Can't take issue with that. My friend David says, you know how you go to New Orleans and they have these old guys, they're like 69 years old and their nose is red. And they go to that bar every day since 1981. And they like, yeah, give me some old charter. And they're drinking shots of old charter. He told me that about old charter. He said, old charter is a bourbon that old guys drink. When they're like 69 years old and they've been going to that same bar since 1981. And they're not drinking just one shot every day. He said he knows a place in New Orleans, more than one place in New Orleans, where they go down, they're out there drinking old charter. I said, yeah, I could get into that kind of thing, you know. So that's Palo Viejo for Puerto Rico, and I got it. Uh, so that's what it means. Old wood, the old guys, the old wood, the old drinkers, the old tasters. Well, let's hope they're tasting. Jean Pierre says, at a store, ha ha ha. What a unique find. I know, I couldn't get over it. I'm so delighted. Stanley Wayne says, cheers, cheers to you. So that's been a long video. Sorry if you watched the whole thing. I mean, it was fun though, but I can understand if people don't want to watch. But so I got a lot of exciting things coming up. I mean, I have a lot of exciting things. I found all interesting beers. I got so many interesting beers. I got so many rums, wine. Well, if you consider Wild Irish Rose white wine to be interesting, okay, I got it. It's coming up. But I did find it. It took me 6 more years to find it again. So yeah, I do have it. So anyway, jump back on later tonight, do a beer review. No, I'll be back tomorrow morning though. Don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow morning, early, early, early. So y'all take care. I'll be back. I promise. Even if I die tonight, it'll still be posted because I already scheduled it. True story. I'm not saying that in a flip way. I do have it posted. So I got some stuff coming up. All right. Thanks, everybody. It's been a great hangout. Right. Smiley face, laughing. Yeah. It's been a great hangout. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And y'all take care. Wonderful taste challenge. 2 beautiful products. But Cruzan is a little more beautiful. A little more beautiful.